Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young and Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
Ready again. You're on.
All right, here we go. We are live, of course. If it's Wednesday, if it's hump day, that means it is Twin Peaks. You know you love it. We are at the intersection of Atlantic and Kernan. You know where that's at. We're right in front of the Kmart. Plenty of ample parking and great food, great service. Come on by, say hi. Beer right now, draft beer, as I welcome Brent Beaird to the show here on a Wednesday. 28.4. They guarantee pretty much 29. They're 28.4 draft beer.
On a day like today, could we step into the freezer?
Woo! This summer will not, it won't let up.
Thank God it's October, but because by mid-October, that there is a bit of a break.
Yes, we think. Anyway,
yes.
I keep letting my dog out as we welcome you to a Wednesday edition. Got a lot to get to. I keep letting my dog out at 6:30, 6:45, 7 o'clock, first thing in the morning. Man, that humidity I open that glass door.
Yes.
Boom.
Yes.
The humidity hits me. Hey, a lot going on here at Twin Peaks coming up this weekend. Today is the 2nd. We're on Wednesday. 2 days from now. How about National Taco Day is this Friday. No better place to celebrate National Taco Day Friday than right here at Twin Peaks. NHL season opener is Friday. Holy guacamole, do they ever end?
No. In the NBA will be about 2 weeks
Does
afterwards.
the NBA and the NHL, does it ever have an off season? The NHL is ready to go, and Twin Peaks is ready to welcome the hockey people as they're ready to drop the puck. And Major League Baseball Division Series coming up on Saturday the 5th. This is that neat time of year. You've got the NFL football,
incredible.
You've got college football, and you've got playoff baseball. October, many people, and we'll open up the show right now, Brent, and we'll talk about this right out of the get-go. You've been around. There are many rings on the tree. If we knocked your tree down, the rings tell you how old you are. There are many rings on my tree and many rings on your tree. Many, many, many people, and I concur, call October the best sports month of the year.
Yeah.
It all goes on top of it.
Yeah, and look, let me give you something else to celebrate. My understanding is, I believe it starts tomorrow, 55 straight days of football.
Oh, my. That's all?
Now, remember, we're in October, and we're on the verge, obviously, then, of having these Maction games during the week, right?
Yeah. How about that? So a lot to get to today on the program. The Jacksonville Jaguars, my goodness gracious. I mean, I'm not surprised at what has happened because Brent Beaird, I didn't think they were going to be good any good anyway. Are you surprised that they're 0-4 and scuffling?
No.
Did you concur with me?
Yes.
I didn't think they were going to be any good anyway.
No, we both thought. Look, we both said during the preseason, after looking at their roster, that this was a team that was going to struggle the whole year.
You looked at the team coming out of last year. They weren't very good.
No.
8-3, and I think your true colors showed they weren't a very good football team last year.
No.
I watched what they did in the draft, and it was underwhelming. Did they get a decent receiver? It looks like.
Yes.
That's about it.
But if your quarterback can't if he can't throw the ball because he's pressured.
But I mean, so they go out and get what looks like a pretty decent receiver, an NFL receiver in Brian Thomas Jr., nothing else in the draft. Okay. And then I said, okay, bite my lip. Let's see what they do in free agency. The Jacksonville Jaguars in free agency with a bad football team. You know what they did? They did two major things to strengthen their team.
Air quotes.
They added basically a 32-year-old pair of legs on the offensive line at center and a 32-year-old pair of legs, 10-year veteran on the defensive line. That ain't going to do it, boys.
No,
and when I saw that, I go, dude, they're not going to be very good. And the fluffy local Jaguar media, of which I have been warning you folks for years, they did it again.
Yes.
Brent, they blew smoke up You fans, you Jaguar fans skirts April, May, June, July. You know what? With a couple breaks, they're going to win 10. They got a chance. No, they did not have a chance. You, the media. And now, Brent, I want you to speak to this. Now, what really hacks me off, and these are buddies of ours.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't mind naming them. The Prossers, the Frangies, the Hickens, the Ballous. These are buddies of ours.
Sure.
They do it every year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it means they're lazy during the offseason and they can't come up with topics. We're good at coming up with topics. I don't need to fake it to make it. But they blew smoke up the Jaguar fans' skirt again, knowing they weren't going to be good. And now, Brent Beaird, all those, and I'm pointing at all of you guys, the fluffy local Jaguar media, oh, they're mad as hell. They're angry. They can't believe how bad. I can't believe. You should be mad at yourself. Who are you mad at? Who are they mad at, Brent Beaird? They should be mad at themselves because you sold a lie and you knew you were doing it. You do it every offseason.
And look, this team is 0-4, and they've still got the Vikings and the Packers and the Eagles. And I know the Eagles are struggling to score, but the Eagles still have a better roster than Jacksonville does.
Sure.
Right now. So at this point, Terry, I mean, they are looking at what? They've already got 4. You've got to figure they're going to lose at least 4 more.
They really need to win this one Sunday.
Yeah.
If they lose this one, and can you imagine loading the Big Bird to go to London for not one game, 2 games, 10 days, which stretches into 14 with jet lag? Can you imagine loading up an 0-5 record going over there?
And there's no guarantee with the Bears and the Patriots, right?
Bears and the Patriots.
That they're not going to win either one of those games.
But the local fluffy media, Jaguar media, I've got to ask, and you, the fan, I'm asking you. I'm asking you, and I'm wanting you to tell me, and you can put it on the chat if you want. What told you? What aspect of the 2024 Jacksonville Jaguar football program, what told you they were going to be good?
And at this point,
and I'm trying to tell me, well, did you think their line was going to be good? Did you think their receivers were going to be good? It's a push. Did you think their defensive line was going to be good? Did you think their linebackers, Muma and Lloyd, they can't play? They've been around 4 and 5 years. They can't play. Their secondary is worse than I made this. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead.
I made this statement all off season, and I stuck by it. And I'm not looking for this, okay? But I'm going to tell you this. We can pull tape if you want. All off season, April, May, June, July, when I saw what they did or didn't do, the Jacksonville Jaguars, to try and bolster, I said, I think last year's team is going to be better than this year's team. I'll stick by that.
Yeah.
Last year's team is better than this year's team.
Well, and you've got a shell-shocked Trevor at this point. How many times, if he hits one of those receivers on the passes that he missed, they very likely could win the game.
They might, but I got to come back to that. But go ahead.
Well, and I'll tell you, I'll give you another comeback to that is I'm not so sure Mac Jones wouldn't hit those receivers.
Maybe. He may have, and the Jaguars may have won the game, and I get tired of hearing that because I am a famous guy, and if I go to my grave, hopefully one of the things they'll say on my headstone, the guy looked at things from both sides.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah. I can right now, off the tip top of my head, I can tell you 11 points that Houston left on the field.
Well,
okay, the other team gets to do that too.
They do.
Houston gifted the Jaguars a touchdown.
They did.
They handed them the ball on a muff punt at the 2-yard line. That is a gift.
Sure, absolutely.
And your boy C.J. Stroud missed Nico Collins in the back of the end zone by a mile. He was wide open. They kick a field goal. There's 4 points. There's 11 points. So don't give me if they'd have hit this and this, they'd have won. No, you have to be fair. The other team gets to do that cherry picking too.
It does.
Okay,
it
and
does.
I've always
And
said
fair.
that. And fans don't get that through their head.
No.
Well, you know what? If Trevor hit here and here, we lost by 6. We'd have won by 7. The other team gets to cherry pick too. You understand where I'm going?
Oh, yeah.
The other team gets to cherry.
Yeah, absolutely.
It can't be a one-sided cherry pick.
No.
I don't know. I'm done with the local fluff. Fans, you're better than this. Fans, it's football. We're not splitting the atom. have the gumption to make don't get sold a bill of goods. Nobody. I can't imagine our contemporaries, our colleagues. You know all these guys.
Absolutely.
You've worked with most of them. I know them. I've worked with them. You saw it again. They blew smoke. It's like they got nothing. They don't want to work hard in the offseason. Well, you know what? The Jaguars, if they get a break here, no, they were never going to be good this year.
No.
Ever.
No.
Ever. That's lazy broadcasting. That's lazy broadcasting. And you, the fan, A, you deserve better, and B, don't fall for it. Just because it's a new year doesn't mean your favorite team is going to be better.
But they're not going to get better this year.
No, it doesn't look like it.
No.
It really doesn't. It really, really doesn't. Wow, there's my soapbox. Brent, I've been preaching that year. I went down in the off season. I can remember this off season and listing. This is the 30th Jaguar season, I believe.
Yeah.
So the 29 previous. There were two ugly runs that the Jaguars have had. They went 9 consecutive years without a winning record. And then they had a 5-year run without a winning record. So that's two ugly.
Right.
I mean, you put those together, 9 and 5, there's 14. They had 3 or 4 500 records.
Right.
So you're pushing 20. The Jaguars, in their 30 now year history, I would safely say there were 17 or 18 years where me, you, God, and Santa in the offseason would go, hey, man, they're not going to be very good. But I'm telling you, if you ran the tape back, the local fluffy Jaguar media, even those years when they went 4-14 or 4-13, whatever the numbers add up to,
Right.
they were still April, May, June, July, like they worked for the ticket office. And I think you, the fluffy local Jaguar media, I think you stir it up with the fans and they follow you like sheeple, and you are to blame. Who are you pissed off at right now? If you're Jeff Prosser, have you heard him? I love Jeff. I love Jeff. He's a great dude. Jeff Prosser raging every morning. Dan Hicken, Rick Ballou, Frank, they're raging. Well, who are you raging at? You sold a bill of goods. You could not have thought this franchise was going to be good this year. You couldn't have.
I saw this tweet this week. Time for the Jaguars to can Doug Peterson and hire the hot coordinator. Well, Terry, my response to that is, isn't that why they're in the problem they've had over the last decades?
I think so. I think we got Patrick Young on. I think I hear Pat stirring around. And Pat, I'm sorry, I may have just gotten us knocked off the air. I don't know, Pat. If you're there, I'd love you to jump in. But man, I'm ticked off because I see it happen every offseason, and I'm tired of the Jaguar fan and the fluffy local media doing the same thing. My God, what do they call that if you do the same thing over and over again? Insanity. Patrick Young, how the heck are you? How the heck are you?
Hey, brother.
I'm in a mood, man. I'm in a mood, Pat. I'm in a mood.
What did you see? What did you say? What did you say?
Just I can't take the local media acting all pissed off now about the Jaguars 0-4 and going the wrong way. Well, what did they think they were going to do? Yeah. Nothing, no indication told you the Jaguars were going to be good this year. Nothing but the local fluffy Jaguar media. They did it again. They blew smoke up the skirts of the Jaguar fans, and the fans sheeple. Okay, yeah. Patrick, there was nothing that indicated this was going to be, I thought, even a better team than last year. Pat, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it.
Yeah, no, man. We've hit this one a lot. There's nothing that they did to say, wow, this team really improved in this area.
Correct.
I don't know which even area you can say. All the areas. I don't know where.
Yes.
I'm curious if Tyson Campbell was back and healthy in those 4 games.
Yeah.
Well, in the three games, the Bills.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with the Bills game. If the outcomes would have been different.
Sure.
Possibly. I don't know.
Sure. I don't know, but the opponents have guys missing games. They have guys sitting out. You can't just cherry pick in this local. Patrick, I don't mean to. I don't mean to put you. If I'm burying you guys by association, I'm sorry. But we all know the Hickens and the Prosters and the Frangies and the Blues and the this and the that. They do it every year. And now they've got the audacity. They're all pissed off. Well, who, Patrick? What, Patrick? What are they mad at? They should be mad at themselves for falsely building up the Jaguars franchise because they knew down deep inside, they had to know that this roster isn't very good.
No, not.
I would have loved to see what they said when
I don't know.
When Shad Khan said that this was the best team in the Jaguars' history. I would have loved to know what they thought about that at that time. Obviously, I know what they think now. It's easy to look back in hindsight by it. But, you know, I think I'm guilty of it too. I fell into the lure of like, okay, like 3 wins in preseason looked pretty good. Like, but it means nothing because so many teams do not bring their star, and they know these games don't matter. So it's really more so for those second string and third string guys to try to make the team, the preseason. And I mean, it's really disappointing, but at least I think you helped me to have my mind and heart ready for the possibility. I didn't think that the Jags would be 0-4, but I'm not surprised that they're 0-4.
Yes. Patrick, to pile on what you just said, I'm so mean. I know. I already know where I'm going, so it doesn't matter. I'm so mean. But the 3-0 or whatever they were in the preseason, Patrick, Brent Beaird, Zach Rothrock, the guys that were wearing the Jaguar uniforms that got out to a 3-0 preseason record, most of them are working over there at T-Mobile. There's a T-Mobile store right there.
Yeah, some other city.
They're at T-Mobile, and a couple of them are at UPS right now on the twilight shift.
They're getting good benefits.
They're getting good benefits.
That's right.
And a couple of them pooled their money together, their little bit of a signing bonus, and they bought some landscaping equipment, and they have a landscaping company. That didn't matter. It doesn't matter.
And the thing that we said consistently, too, was, well, these other teams in the AFC has improved as much or more than they have.
Yes. The Jaguars go out, Patrick Young, in free agency to improve their football team, and we railed on this. Now, you can't make anybody sign with you. I get it. I can't grab your hand and force you to sign. But the Jacksonville Jaguars in free agency to plug the gaps they thought they needed to plug, they didn't go out and sign Danielle Hunter. They didn't go out and sign Stephon, right?
Right.
They went out and signed 32-year-old legs, Mitch Morse, 10 years in the league. They went out and signed a pair of 32-year-old defensive legs, Eric Armstead. That's what they did to improve. And I went, no, that's no factor. They're not close enough to need a Mitch Morse to put them over the top.
And look, it's not sexy to draft offensive linemen, but until this bunch is able to do some of that, Terry and Pat, it's not going to make any difference.
And you know what, Patrick? How about piling on what Brent just said? It's not sexy to draft an offensive lineman. Okay, I'm just going to throw out Captain Obvious. The Jacksonville Jaguars in 30 years of football in the National Football League have one Hall of Fame football player, and it was a drafted offensive lineman.
Yeah, that's correct.
It was a draft.
And actually, I'm really glad you said that. I watched the Detroit game the other night with the Seahawks.
Right.
The GM for the Lions since 2017 has the most Pro Bowlers drafted than anybody else. He has 12 drafted Pro Bowlers.
Oof. 12.
That's amazing.
12. Did I see something? I'm almost positive that I saw this. That and Aiden Hutchinson and Trevon Walker will be joined at the hip forever because of their drafting order. Hutchinson has a sack in 3 straight games, I think, or something like this. This guy is a sack machine.
He is.
Oh, Patrick Young. Pat, what kind of shirt we got on here? Future, what do we got here?
I got this from Jeffrey Meldon.
Nice. Meldon Law over in Gainesville.
He gave me a few shirts. I don't like getting shirts.
Yeah, I'm with you in terms of hats and shirts and stuff. You get so many. So you spoke to the Ocala quarterback club last night, right?
No, it was in Gainesville.
Oh, Gainesville quarter. Okay, I saw a lot of that on. Somebody posted it. How'd it go? Looked like it went pretty good.
Yeah, and I'm sad that I didn't have any books, or I had 6 books, but it was a really great event. Pat Dooley, he's hilarious. He spoke right before I did.
Yeah,
and he had some really good jokes, as well as really good insights.
nice.
Obviously, he's adamant on they need to win this upcoming game this Saturday and then move on from there.
They do.
He doesn't believe that anything drastic is going to happen in the middle of the season for Napier.
Correct.
He thinks the firing, if there is going to be one, that it's going to be at the end of the season.
Right.
And talk about this too. Like, I mean, Florida State, Florida, Clemson, all just struck out on the transfer portal.
Yeah.
Tried to fill in the gaps with
Good
transfer
point.
guys, and all 3 of those teams, and obviously Florida State the most with the quarterback position, just failed on and just missed out on. But Florida State has so much to replace as well.
Yeah.
And Florida had a lot to bring in to have a good quality team.
Yeah.
They just don't. They're just not good.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's not good.
As we break, we're one in. We got a long way to go. Brent Beaird's here. Let's shift it. Obviously, we opened up with a lot of NFL Jaguar talk. Let's shift it to college football, and I want to stay with our local teams. Florida State's got a tough one, man. Clemson's going to score some points. Can the Noles?
They may score 40.
Can the Noles even come close? We'll talk about that. The quarterback situation.
No way.
And then Florida, and then Florida. I will say this: I know Florida may be wanting to hold before they have to publicly make a move with their head football coach. I'll tell you one thing: if UCF beats up Florida Saturday night in the Swamp, the Boo Birds will be out.
So yes.
The last thing that Florida can do, I don't think Florida. If UCF was to win and dominate the game, I don't think Florida could fight it off. I don't think the administration, because the halftime Boo Birds would be out.
Yes.
The end of game Boo Birds would be out. I don't think Florida could fight it off. If they lose 28-27 in a great game, maybe. But if UCF and Gus Malzahn get running that ball downhill with that number 7 and that big quarterback, and they just punch Florida out, I don't think Florida could get through Sunday without letting him go.
Colorado held them to 177 yards. UCF, when they were averaging 375. Now look, all 3 of us can say, and it's warranted, Colorado doesn't have a great defense.
No, and if Colorado held them to those numbers, and Florida at home can't do it, and they get routed, I don't think there's any way in hell getting booed off his field again that Florida couldn't make a move Sunday. Sunday.
That's right. You have lost to Miami, and then you lost to UCF.
Florida State at the end of the year.
And then you got Florida
State
yeah, that's right.
the end of the year. Miami
yes.
back to back.
Yes.
UCF. That, by the way, that would be a 2-game losing streak to UCF, right?
Yeah.
They lost a bowl game not long ago, right? The last time they played UCF, I think, was a loss in the bowl game. Wasn't that right, Pat and Brent?
Yeah, I believe so.
You would have.
I think Emory Jones was the quarterback then.
Yeah, you would have back-to-back home losses on your turf to Florida State and Miami, and you would be on a losing streak to UCF. I think they would boo him off the field, sure. Almost like they would boo him onto a magic carpet and float him off the field.
And
the boos would be so loud.
It would mean you've lost your state if that happens.
You've lost your state if that happens. Pat, hang tight if you can. We would love to keep you on here. We've got a lot to get to. College football weekend schedule. Let's take a look at it with Brent Beaird here. Boy, I was really happy to hear about this upcoming Nashville meeting. The SEC and the Big Ten getting together. To me, it sounds like the mafia families getting together and saying, hey, man, I got to protect you. You got to protect me. We're the big boys here.
So we're going to make the rules.
I don't know, Pat, if you've heard of this, but I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
And I think this could be a precursor to what needs to happen in the near future.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. A lot of college football talk. Major League Baseball will track you. Detroit leading Houston 1-0. Detroit trying to close it out. The 4 games from yesterday, guys, as we break, will play in the same order.
Come on, Braves. Score at least, please.
But the Braves will play in the same order. They'll be the fourth game today. And you could have 4 sweeps. You could have all kind of mishmash.
Yes.
But all 4 playoff games from yesterday are in the same time slot and same order. We know we got 4 more today. It is the epicenter of Major League Baseball. 4 games, elimination potential in a row. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more. That guy right there is Patrick Young. There he is, folks. Look at him right there. Look at that guy. Look at that guy. That's Patrick Young right there in that beautiful shirt. This is Brent Beaird. I'm Terry Norvelle. And, of course, this wonderful location is our Hump Day location. We are at Twin Peaks, Kernan, and Atlantic. Come by and say hi if you're heading out. We'd love to see you.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice 3-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 143-2579.
Yeah. All right, looks like we are back here on a Hump Day edition. You know where we're at. We are at Twin Peaks. A lot going on. Let me get my where's my Twin Peaks? Oh, hold on. I just told you guys about everything. Coming up this month in October, the nearest things we got cooking, National Taco Day. That is October 4th, which is Friday. National Taco Day. They'll celebrate it big time here at Twin Peaks. NHL season opener, October 4th.
That's just not right. But we know it's time for that to happen.
And by the way, I'll get back to this in a minute. I finally figured out the NBA WNBA, but we'll get back to that. It does seem like the NHL never ends, does it? No. So the NHL, they're opening the season again on October 4th. They're going to celebrate it right here at Twin Peaks. So if you're a transplant northerner, come on down. The girls will take good care of your scratch kitchen. Great TVs here at Twin Peaks intersection of Atlantic and Kernan. And then, of course, Major League Baseball, the division series will have kicked in. These are the series we're in right now, best 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
Unless there's weather, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday if needed. Tuesday, Wednesday. So we'll be done. Some of them today maybe, but definitely tomorrow. And then the weekend, the division series get going. And a huge UFC fight. Remember now, Twin Peaks, they are a corporate sponsor of all this UFC, MMA stuff. Mm-hmm. So, man, this place rocks. You talk about if you want to be in the action, if you're into the UFC and the MMA, these places rock. This place right here is the place in town. Get here early, get your spot. It's a big spot here, and they can accommodate, and they do. Twin Peaks, great food, great hospitality, and just a great, fun time. Brent Beaird, Patrick Young, I think, still with us here. Brent, college football weekend, I want to look at it, but Nashville is the scene. The SEC and the Big Ten are about to meet. I'm not sure what day it is, but it's coming up. They're going to kind of meet and kind of, I guess, talk about the future and down the road and the playoff getting expanded and how many guaranteed spots. And I love this, Brent. There's talk about they want to discuss eliminating subjectivity and say, hey, we need to when this thing goes to 14, we need to decide maybe we deserve 3 or 4 each. Record-wise, I like all this. It sounds like the 5 families in the mafia in New York getting together saying, hey, we better protect our own brand.
Okay, the topics, a new enforcement arm, college football format, and a football scheduling arrangement
between the two conferences.
Between the two conferences.
I like that. I like it a lot. Patrick, it sounds like this, and this may take years down the road. I mean, 5, 6, 7 years, but things got to go slow. To me, Patrick and Brent, it sounds like this could be a precursor to the big bad SEC and the big bad Big Ten saying, hey, man, it's time. Let's expand. Let's get up to, 24 each, big 48 or more. And we are college football. We can pat each other on the head, the little guys. Is that what you're reading, Brent?
Well, I think 2 things are going on here. One is, okay, we're going to meet and start making plans, but for now, we want to be in unity with everybody.
I got you.
But the other plan of that is, and don't think this is not going on for a moment, is they're making plans for that day that you're talking about, to where they've got so much power, and they just decide, we're tired of Monmouth deciding things for us.
Southern Miss.
In Southern Miss.
Yes, and East Carolina.
And it's time to make the break, and that's coming. And I frankly think that they are setting the foundation for that. Pat?
And Patrick,
is that logical for them?
That sounds mean, Pat, on the surface. But at some point, you've got to look at your own families and go, we've got to feed our own families. And we can't feed the world, right? I mean, Pat, isn't this where it's going to go at some point? There's going to be the biggest of the big boys, and you can't carry 130 Division I programs and pay everybody. The NFL doesn't carry 130 franchises and pay everybody, Pat. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a new space, but I think it's really kind of cool seeing how these places are working together to figure out how we can recreate the NFL model in college sports. But I guess, you just worry about those other smaller schools. Yeah.
I'm sure.
Will they still, like, are they just going to get left in the dust? Because obviously the TV money is going to go to those schools.
Yeah.
The big contract, the big, probably the first $1 billion contract, if there's just one Super League, will be all, and those smaller teams may not get any television coverage. I don't know. I doubt it.
Yeah.
Why would you at that point? When
Brent,
you got the
Brent has
superior
always,
league, why do,
Brent Beaird has always had the theory, and I wish I'd stolen it. He had it before me. Hey, man, teams 49 through 130, do your own thing, man. People would watch a little bit in February, March, April, May. Go play in the off season. Number one, that's a great idea. Go do your own thing.
Yes.
Number one. Number two, I've never seen the Division I college football Bible that I've opened up and says Michigan, Ohio State, Alabama, Florida, Tennessee, they have to carry East Carolina's athletic department, Southern Miss's athletic department, Monmouth's athletic. I don't believe in that. I just don't
believe in that either. Good point.
I don't think you have to carry their athletic departments.
Well, and that's been their argument all along is we make the most money.
Yes.
We draw the most TV eyes.
And frankly, what I said a moment ago, the NFL has 32 franchises. The NFL, I don't think, is responsible for saying, well, let's blow it up to 130 franchises and Los Angeles, Chicago, Miami, you have to carry Little Rock, Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
No, I just don't think that's the way it's supposed to be done.
Agree.
And I don't think, and secondarily, the smaller conferences, the smaller schools, the Southern Misses of the world, the East Carolinas, I think the competitive balance would be there if one of them is not getting a huge payout. If they're all getting the same, if they're all fending for themselves, then I think the competitive balance would be there.
Yeah.
It's not like Southern Miss is in bed with the SEC and the SEC is giving Southern Miss $80 billion and they can kick East Carolina's teeth in because they will run with what they have, and I think it would keep the competitive balance.
Well, and again, for our listeners, this is primarily for football because you're certainly not you're not going to tell UConn right now in basketball, well, guys, y'all can't participate.
Did y'all see where? Speaking of basketball, did y'all see where? And this was a smart move, I think. Gonzaga, looks like they are joining the Pac-12 in basketball.
Yeah, they're still calling it the Pac-12.
Pac-12, they're going to join in basketball only because they don't do big-time football. But I'm fine with that. I love that. I absolutely love that.
What we're just talking about. Oh, well, I just wonder about that. And look, again, to your point, it is not the responsibility of these bigger schools to have to foot the bill for these smaller ones. Are we going to see an elimination like Northern Illinois went to Notre Dame, won that game, obviously, but they got paid $1.4 million to come and play that game. And I bet that $1.4 million is probably good enough to fund their whole program for that year in all sports. Like, is that going to be eliminated?
Sure.
You think?
Sure. It remains to be seen, can there be payout games? Will there still be payout games? Now, I don't know if this is what I'm going to propose. I don't know if it's legal in the court of law, but I would have no problem also saying, okay, if the big power conferences, the SEC and the Big Ten, and they go to 48 or whatever, if they're not going to foot the bill, I would have no problem if there's some type of, and I don't know if this is legal from a labor standpoint. Always remember that, the labor standpoint. I would have no problem with saying, okay, but you big boys, if you're not going to help fund these small, you can't go rape their roster.
Yeah.
You can't go rape their roster and say, wow, that Coastal Carolina quarterback, I want him at Florida State next year. I would be okay with that. Right? You see where I'm going? Yeah. I don't know if that's legal in the labor world.
I don't know. That's a good question. Let me throw this in there.
Okay.
And get your opinion on this, you and Pat. Discussions are expected to go beyond the regular season with the possibility of what officials describe as an overhauled postseason. Now, get this. For those programs not advancing to the college football playoff.
Love it.
Administrators are exploring ways to
Love
arrange more matchups at pair teams
Love
from
it.
the two leagues as opposed to their current bowl agreement that expire after the 2025 season.
Is that, and help me out, I'm not the smartest guy maybe, is that a football way of saying, we're okay with an NIT tournament underneath the big tournament?
Well, I'll tell you what's happened with this, guys, is the bowls have made it known they're sick and tired of having bad matchups, poor crowds, players opting out. So what can we do right now in order to restructure this bowl situation where people might want to buy tickets and go?
To me, that almost sounds like the playoff, Division I big boy playoff is up here with 14, 16, wherever it finally goes.
Yes.
And then they're trying to say, maybe we have a second playoff that's kind of the NIT of football.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But
I don't know.
But
I don't know.
Do you have any doubt that the guys in the funny-looking jackets who are in the press box have made it very clear they can't? They can. Okay, like for instance, last year, FSU in Georgia, they don't want to have another one of those, do they? Terry?
No.
We're half one of the most.
No. But can we all agree, Patrick, if you're still with us, Brent Beaird sitting right next to me, Terry Norvelle right here inside Twin Peaks. This meeting that's coming up in Nashville, and I can't remember what the date was.
Sometime next week. They haven't really set a date yet. This
is, I don't think anything but good's coming from this.
Yeah.
Am I right?
No, I agree with that.
Am I right?
And look, again, what you talked about a few minutes ago, if you're a non-power 5, if you're a group of 5, you've got to get your rear end in your own meeting and talk to some TV folks and come up with some own ideals. If not, Terry, they're going to be left to fend on their own.
Yeah.
And just picking up the scraps if there are any scraps.
And folks, I don't know if you saw the article that has come out early this week, today, yesterday, whenever I saw it. If ever the Big Ten and the SEC can join pinky swear, and get in lockstep, did you see the TV ratings for Alabama, Georgia? And before you go, well, Terry, duh, that was Alabama, Georgia. Well, this is a little different because this wasn't 1,000% must-see TV. They may never play again this year. No, they're probably going to play. We've got a 12-team playoff, yet everybody's still dialed in.
Sure.
Everybody, which tells you, again, all you doom and gloom guys, college football's dying. The portal, the NIL is killing it. Blah, blah, blah. College football has never been more popular and stronger.
And look, here's your magic number for television: 4 million.
Okay, that's kind of
that
you
is
turn my head with 4 million.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. When you're talking to television,
Okay.
if you can go to them and say, we can guarantee you we're going to have at least 4 million for
the advertisers will come.
For X number of games.
The advertisers will
Alabama, Georgia, at its peak had 14 million. 14.
And that is a game that theoretically isn't an end-all be-all. Historically, previously, whoa, now, only one of them is going to get to Atlanta. Whoa, that game's – no. This wasn't end-all be-all, but this was the great game of college football.
And we may need to talk about this on the other side of the break.
Okay.
But follow the logic here. SEC, Big Ten continue to get stronger. They're about to go and do their own thing. At that time, could it be the time that you and I have talked about for years? Oh, who might want to join the fray that has stayed independent all this time?
Oh, my.
Think about
Are they
that.
a gold team with a leprechaun that clicks his little heels?
Correct.
Oh, my.
Yes.
Oh, my. And if they come in, that changes everything.
Do you find that logical?
Yes, you really do.
Follow
really do.
Follow where this is going.
And Notre Dame I get what they want and what they prefer. We also don't want and prefer yourself out of the game.
Yes, correct.
Right? Out of the game.
Yes.
Because the SEC and the Big Ten are talking about doing, from a schedule standpoint,
right,
what Notre Dame figured out
sure
12, 15 years ago.
Right.
We need some help with our schedule.
Yes.
Notre Dame's a scheduling partner.
Right.
All of a sudden, if the ACC, that's Notre Dame's scheduling partner, is not relevant anymore,
yeah,
Notre Dame's going to say, okay, what we want and we want to control. Well, we also don't want to want ourselves out of the game.
True.
So we
Sure.
may need to, buddy, hey, Big Ten, hey, SEC, we'll be in your conference for 5 years.
Right.
We'll be in your conference, whatever.
Now, in this meeting, this is
this is good stuff, Brent.
This
is good stuff.
This is a meeting of athletic directors with the SEC and the Big Ten, and look, tell me, you know good and well this is happening. Some in somebody's desk drawer somewhere, they have got future plans of what they're looking at that that obviously they're not going to feed those to the media at this point. Now, Ross Dellinger or
one of those
like
guys,
that,
Thamel or somebody can find it, maybe.
Is going to come up with that in a few years. But see, I won't be at all surprised if part of this meeting is enforcement, which means if we're basically going to break away from the NCAA, we've got to have our own plan about how we deal with some of this.
And I know we're way past a break, Zach. I'm so sorry, and I get it. But in terms of enforcement, the entity, be it the NCAA, whatever the SEC, Big Ten create and call themselves, they are going to need, and I go back to the labor rules and laws and the Hall of the Land.
Sure.
They're going to need, unfortunately, DC legislation help.
Correct.
If ever, it's a great time for those two big entities, SEC, Big Ten, to go knocking on the DC door and say, hey, we need some help here now.
Right.
We need you to give us some legs.
Right.
We need you to give us some, because, again, the NCAA or whatever entity that runs this hopefully breakaway group, they've got to have legality sledgehammers.
Yes.
Not just, you got to put a cap on the, you got to be careful because people have rights and labor rights.
Yeah,
But what a time to go knocking on the DC doors and saying, hey, lawmakers, we need you to give us some ass. We need some ass to enforce.
But see, here's what's also going to be discussed in this deal that we get on when we come back from the break is that the big question when they're both seated at the table together, one of the first questions is going to be is, guys, what can we do to keep from being sued?
Great point.
Great point. And because of that don't think for a minute.
Yeah.
That don't you think?
And gosh darn, this is going. That's a great point. And I go back to, look at the model that the NFL does. The NFL has 32 franchises.
Right.
And they're a independent private group. Right. They're a private group.
Yeah.
They've got it structured where, as I brought up, San Antonio can't sue to get in.
Yeah.
They are protected.
Mm-hmm.
The NCAA or whatever entity needs to go, if the SEC and the Big Ten do this pull aside, what can we do to not get sued by the ACC? Or there's a legal way to do it right.
And part of that is to not get sued.
Great point.
It is
great point.
We've got to have player contracts sooner than later.
Great point. And they need help.
They do. Yeah.
They need, because the fan out there just cannot get it through their head. A lot of the fans out there that the NCAA, they're not as inept as you think. They just don't have any legality.
Right.
They don't have any legality.
No.
We're going to tell these players they can only make X. The NCAA is not the law of the land.
Right.
They don't have the legality behind them.
Correct. Yeah,
but a lot of the fans don't understand that.
No,
would you agree with that?
Totally.
They just don't. They need a big sledgehammer.
Right.
A legal sledgehammer, but they don't have one.
But they were hoping this House versus the NCAA would take care of all these being sued all the time. Now, that's still kind of dangling up there until they can figure that out.
Yeah.
But don't think for a minute the things we talked about, that they're scheduling. the playoffs.
Yeah.
That they'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, a lot of this discussion is going to be how can we keep these lawyers off our back?
Zach, we'll go to break. We'll come back, and we'll probably have a very short segment. As we break, Brent Beaird patting ourselves on the back. Do you think this type of talk is being done around many other talk shows? This deep, this college football kind of talk?
No, to answer your question, no. No.
I don't either. Let's take a break here, Zach. I know we've blown really through it, but we'll come back. We'll get on track and start setting up hour number 2. A lot more to get to. Boy, FSU, the quarterback situation, did that just kind of work in their favor?
Yes.
And I've got Florida's defensive answer. I've got the answer to the Florida Gators playing good defense. There's only one answer, and I've got it. If you remind me, I'll tell you on the other side. 1 hour, wrap it up. We'll come back, wrap it up, and get into hour number 2. It is a Wednesday edition live, our Wednesday hump day home. You know it by now, Twin Peaks.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
Since 1936, Procter Ace has been proudly helping Jacks with all your home and garden projects. Whether you need tools, paint, plumbing supplies, or expert advice, we've got what you need to get the job done right. Looking to brighten your yard? Visit our garden center for plants, tools, and everything to make your outdoor space flourish. You're not just shopping here, you're part of our community. So come in today and let us help you tackle your next project with a smile. After all,
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
When I say it means something to me, gentlemen, it means something to me.
High school football is back and it's bigger than ever. Welcome to the Friday Night Zone Blitz.
It is bigger than a game.
Watch the biggest games each week live as the action unfolds with instant reaction and analysis from our Hall of Famer, Kevin Sullivan. It starts with live look-ins at the top matchups, including our Jaguars Prep Whataburger Game of the Week, and that is just the beginning of 4 straight hours of coverage. From 8 to 10:30, the Friday Night Zone Blitz is streaming on our Action News Jax app and online. At 10:30, the Friday Night Blitz you know and love. A half hour of highlights from around the area. 11 o'clock, we shine the spotlight on the bands that pump up the crowd. 11:15, it's time to blitz through the highlights online and on air. Then 11:35, back to the stream to break down the night's results with a reaction from local coaches. 4 straight hours of high school football on the Friday Night Zone Blitz. Only on Action Sports Jax 24/7.
Baker Sports is local sports. Uniforms from Pop Warner and Little League to travel ball, high school, and college. They make you look good. They help you play good. Baker Sports has been helping families make memories that will last a lifetime with their Baker's Buckets. We've got a lot of these filled with baseballs and softballs in the garage. I've been throwing batting practice to Ty and Kaylee for years and also sit on the Baker's Bucket, catching Kaylee while she practices or pitching. Baker Sports is homegrown, and a lot of employees that used to play on local ball fields now work for Baker Sports, now helping you look good, play good, and make memories of your own. Visit Bakersport.com to see what Baker Sports can do for you. Custom apparel, Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, embroidery, screen printing, and more. Baker Sports. is local sports. From Jacksonville to anywhere in the Southeast, Bakersport.com.
All right, Zach, we'll do a few minutes and come back. Hey, look at there. Be a beautiful high shot of Jack's Vegas, the beautiful river running through. Brent Beaird. Speaking of beautiful, there's Brent Beaird right there in that gorgeous shirt you got there cooking, man. I like that shirt.
Thank you.
Very colorful, and you can still wear it.
Yeah.
You know, it's still kind of summer,
Yeah.
you know, bright, hot.
Now,
it.
Look, this is no.
Like it. Like
this
it a
is
lot.
no Georgia statement, okay?
Okay.
I've got on red and black, and that's just a coincidence.
Okay. All right. Speaking of coincidences, well, this is not. It happens all the time. Double happy hour, Monday through Friday, 2 to 6. Sunday through Thursday, 10 to close. Double happy hour is not good enough at Twin Peaks. They do a double. And, oh, my goodness, the Astros have tied things up in the top of the 8th, 2 to 2.
And we've got other scores here, too.
Kansas City 1-0 over Baltimore. So we
Yeah.
got 2 Major League Baseball games going on.
Right.
Houston has to win to force a game 3, and Baltimore has to win to force a game 3. Kansas City beat Baltimore, I think, 1-0 yesterday, and they're up 1-0 now.
And is there any way our Braves can win tonight?
Boy, the Braves got a weird deal as we're wrapping up hour number 1 here, the Young and Norvelle show, coming to you from Twin Peaks. Yesterday, or Monday. How cool was Monday, by the way? The doubleheader and
unbelievable.
Have you ever seen?
Yes.
Have you ever seen a stadium host in the visitors' locker room and the home team locker room a champagne party? Same stadium, same time.
Do you think TV decided that's what they wanted?
How weird was that?
It was.
You had
it was interesting. Yes.
in Truist Fields Monday, right? It was Monday, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Braves and the Mets both got their goal, which was to make it the postseason.
Oh, yeah.
So you had a champagne party in both locker rooms in one stadium.
That's right. Oh, yeah.
Because the Mets were happy.
Yeah.
They won one game of the doubleheader.
Right.
The Braves were happy. They won and moved on. They were both partying.
Look, for the Braves with their injuries to get in the playoffs and their lack of timely hitting for the Braves, it's true. It's an absolute miracle they're in the playoffs.
Do you have to give? Is it Snitker?
Yeah,
the manager.
yeah,
Do you have to
yes.
give him manager of the year?
Yeah, you're close
for what he did.
You're close. I still wonder though. They've got somebody has got to teach these guys, and I know they had so many of their mainline guys out with injury. Man alive, they've just got to hit the ball and drive in a run when you've got guys on, and they struggle with that the whole year.
Yeah, and you look at the way from a geography standpoint, it kind of worked this week. Worked against the Braves.
Yes.
The Braves go out. They qualify for the playoffs, and they had the tie break against the Mets. So they got the 5 seed,
the
Braves, because they had the tiebreaker over the Mets. The Mets win to get in. The Braves won one of the games to get in, but they had to break up who's 5, who's 6.
Yeah.
And from a geography standpoint, it worked against the Braves.
That's right.
The Braves get the 5, so they were bracketed. And they did. They got on a plane and went 5.5 hours to the West Coast. The Mets went up the coast to Milwaukee.
Right.
And they just came back from Milwaukee. Wouldn't you have rather, geography-wise, not team versus team, but wouldn't you have rather just jetted 2 hours to Milwaukee than 5.5 hours
Absolutely.
to the West Coast?
But
and multiple time zones.
And the incredible thing about it is Sale, their best pitcher and is in a Cy Young candidate,
I know.
Is out for this series. But here's the reality. Let's just pretend a moment. If they were to somehow win, I don't think they'll beat the Padres. But Terry, my story is if they win, then they play the Dodgers.
No, you get the Dodgers.
Oh joy!
How about that? And the other side gets the Phillies. But yeah, the Braves and Padres are matched up with the Dodgers.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Look,
and then the Mets Brewers are matched up with the Phillies.
If they would have had either Acuna or if they would have had, let's just pretend Freddie Freeman stays in Atlanta, they probably win 5 more games.
You would
this
think.
year.
Now, looking ahead, and this is way ahead. The Braves may not make it out of today. The Braves, no, they would have to come back to Atlanta.
2-1.
Yes, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yes, because they're in the same place.
Right.
I was going to say the Braves, if they were to pull it out, best 2 out of 3, would they just stay on the West Coast? But no, they would have to come back. The Braves have to win 2.
Yeah.
They have to win today and tomorrow.
Right.
So they'd have to think about it. The Braves have to fly all the way back to Atlanta,
right,
win game 3, and then I would imagine you would open up at LA
Saturday.
Yeah. How about that for travel?
But I mean, that's basically what they just did.
They just did. Hey, we're up against it, hour number 1, but we can take it a little bit into hour number 2. Did Mike Norvelle get gosh, I hate to say this because it's an injury. Did Mike Norvelle get a bit of a finger break with DJU? Broke his finger.
Yeah.
So DJU, the FSU quarterback, is going to be out for multiple games. Wasn't he almost forced to make a move anyway?
No question. And I think that bailed them out with that. There's supposed to be some kind of finger injury. But look,
maybe Mike Norvelle smashed it with a hammer himself. I don't know.
You really wonder at this point. But don't you have to get Brock Glenn in? You see what he can do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a backup for next year.
And he got thrown in weird situations last year. He got thrown into the championship game, and they had to win, and it was just and they won.
Yeah.
But he got thrown in that game, and then the bowl game.
Yes.
I mean, that was a mess. I want to see what Luke can do. Luke,
I agree.
Croman Hoke or whatever his name is. And we'll tease this going into hour number 2. And I dead mean this from 100% of my heart. I have finally figured out this year's Gator defense. And I mean this, Brent.
Yeah.
I mean this.
Yeah.
They've got one shot at, I guess, playing defense in Gainesville. You know what? And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. The one shot Florida has defensively this year, because Lawrence Taylor's not walking through, Wilbur Marshall's not walking through, Clifford Charlton's not walking through, Tony Blah, 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 blah. Florida's third down offense has to be their best friend on defense.
That's a great point. Yes.
And by that, I mean, for Florida's not going to play great defense. The best thing they can do is keep their defense off the field.
Yes.
Florida's offense, converting third downs and converting drives at 6 and 7 and 8 minute drives, is the only thing that could possibly salvage Florida's defense. Does that make any sense?
Yes. I'll say this for Florida, unlike FSU, at least Florida hadn't given up.
I agree.
I mean, that's pitiful. Terry, in that SMU game,
they quit.
You've got guys.
They quit.
They wouldn't even tackle the SMU receivers.
They quit
when they caught the ball.
We talked. I think you and I one day, maybe Monday, we touched on that. That I was in Gainesville. I didn't make it to the fourth quarter for the Miami game or the Texas A&M game. Florida got beat so bad in both games. I was in the car.
Yeah, there's no reason to.
But with that said, sitting in that stadium for those 2 games, I saw Miami's better athletes beat Florida.
Yes.
I saw Texas A&M's better athletes beat Florida. I didn't see Florida quit.
Right.
I saw
that's
Florida
that's
State.
What we're talking about.
I saw Florida State Saturday night quit.
Yeah, they did.
Their players quit.
And I'm not sure they haven't quit before then.
Might have. They might have. And you know what? FSU, compared to the SEC, FSU does have an easy schedule. But let me tell you something. There are a couple teams on that schedule the rest of the way that can score some points.
Absolutely.
Clemson's going to score a bunch of points Saturday night.
So is Miami.
Miami's going to score a bunch of points. Duke's 5-0.
Yeah, they are.
It could get numerically ugly, 3-9, 2-10. It could get effort ugly too.
Yeah.
And there's a difference.
Well, look, if you're Norvelle, at some point, don't you? This sounds radical, but what about just even if they're freshmen? Okay, I want to see some guys who want to make an effort.
Yeah.
And if you want to make an effort, you're going to play.
Yeah.
If you don't, you're not going to play.
Yeah. Take a quick break. We're going to try and catch up with Dr. Aaron Bates, our Southeast orthopedic specialist. sports medicine discussion. Got a lot to kick around with Dr. Bates. I hope we got him. He's very, very busy. Things have gotten backed up, obviously, with the weather and all.
Sure.
A lot of appointments have blown up the schedules. McCaffrey, Anthony Richardson, Rashee Rice. Boy, that was ugly. We'll talk about some of those injuries with Dr. Bates on the other side. One down, one to go. It is a Wednesday Hump Day edition coming to you live from Twin Peaks.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms. Whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com, and while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
Hey, folks, I hope you saw that spot a moment ago during the stop set right there. When it comes to orthopedic care, if you know you need it immediately, do not go and wait and sit around emergency rooms. Contact Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, sc-ortho.com, and they can get you walking in emergency care and that will speed up everything. se-ortho.com. With that, let's welcome Dr. Aaron Bates. He joins us every Wednesday. We talk some sports medicine. We got some tough stuff to get to, Dr. Bates. Number one, number two. Man, I got to tip my hat to your Townsend State Tigers. They didn't play, I guess, last week. You guys gave North Dakota State hell, man. You guys have played pretty good. I looked at your scores. You guys have played pretty good to be 1-3 this year.
Yeah, they played tough against North Dakota State. They played tough against Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Just those are better teams.
Yeah. Off week, and now you've got William and Mary, and I see they're pretty good. William and Mary's pretty good, but yeah, your squad's been representing as I looked at they're 1-3, but man, y'all have had some good games. Cincinnati's a group of five power, power conference. And
North Dakota State is almost one of those.
Yeah, they really are.
They've been there for so long.
And they really are. Brent Beaird may have some questions as well to fire your way. But Doc, we've got several things to get into. We may not even have time to get to Chris Sale with his back spasms, and that may be a moot point if the Braves don't win today. But my goodness, everybody saw Rashee Rice, the receiver for the Chiefs. It was a weird friendly fire. You saw where, what was it? I guess an INT. And Mahomes kind of gets blocked into his own player. Doc, when I saw it, and Mahomes, his thrust goes into the legs of Rashee Rice, I was hoping that what is the bone, the quad bone, the leg bone that's up by the quad, what is that bone?
Well, that's the largest and strongest long bone in your body. It's called the femur.
The femur, I was hoping when it happened, I go, man, I hope that's a femur injury, not the knee, because he would have been better off breaking his femur, wouldn't he? But it was lower and it blew out the knee, didn't it?
It did. It was much like the UCF quarterback Mackenzie Milton.
Oh yeah,
he got injured against USF that year. Yeah. It's the same thing. I mean, you planted the foot right when he was getting hit in his knee, and it's just a very tough, devastating injury from friendly fire. You would hope that if you're going to get an injury like that, it's somebody trying to tackle you, and not your own teammate.
Or Britt Beaird, you're barreling over to win the Super Bowl or to win the national championship. It was friendly fire. You saw it, right? Oh, it was painful looking.
Awful. Dr. Bates, quick question about cramps. We see that going on now that we're heading into October. What is your suggestion as far as players needing to hydrate, needing to eat in a typical week before a Saturday game? Can you give us your suggestions on say how much you eat and drink?
It's still hot out there, man.
It is before the game.
Yeah, well, obviously, and we talked about this before, once you start getting cramps, you're already behind. You're already dehydrated. Yeah. So it's very hard to get over the top with that. And so those things need to be prevented, during the week. So that's a week-to-week basis of what you're eating, how much water you're getting, how much electrolytes you're getting. And so that should be extremely balanced, particularly with these, professionals and the higher level college organizations. And so they should have, nutritionists working with them so that each meal, is somewhat controlled. So that you're certainly, getting enough hydration during the week. So, because once you get the cramp, it's done. I mean, you're already dehydrated. Yeah.
Now, a quick follow-up. Is water the best, or do you recommend kind of half and half water and something that can give you more electrolytes?
Well, I think to start out, yes, water is the best thing. But you can certainly, I guess you can have too much water. You need to, you have some more electrolyte balance. And so that's where some of the other, the higher level fluids, the powders and the electrolyte fluids. I guess there's something new called Prime that's out there now. Give you some more of those electrolytes. But you just can't go out and just drink that and expect to be, okay, I'm good now. It has to start with water. It all starts with water.
Doc, maybe the dumbest question ever, and I've asked a million of them. staying with the hydration, it just hit me. Hydration, we think liquid to help hydrate. Are there foods that can either help hydration or draw liquid away that are bad for hydration? Are there, hard foods that you should either do ingest or not ingest that would help or hurt hydration? Food, hard food.
Sure. So foods high in sugar, I mean, that's going to draw more fluid out of you. More, so you're going to lose more fluid by drinking sugary or eating sugary foods, things like that. That's the biggest thing.
What about sodium food? Like when I eat Chinese, it's sodium. I like Chinese, but man, I am so thirsty.
Yeah.
Would high sodium be bad? Would it work against hydrating?
It can be to an extent, but then sometimes you need some of that salt.
Okay.
I mean, take for instance, especially here in Florida, every high school team's got a jar of pickle juice, on the sideline, and I don't know if that's the best thing for them, but it's I don't know if it's an old wives' tale because it's been, it's been done over the years, but that's the idea. You add a little bit of salt, and maybe that helps a little bit, but certainly too much salt can be detrimental.
Sure. Talking to Dr. Aaron Bates from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. We do it every Wednesday, our sports medicine discussion. Remember now, they are up to 4 Bumps and Bruises clinics, 4 locations around our area on Saturday mornings. It's a free service, man, a free evaluation. Get your athletes that need to get evaluated. Hopefully it's a minor injury, and you can get a treatment plan right there. But 9 to 10 on Saturday mornings. You can find out the 4 locations. They're all over, so they're near you. Go to their website, se-ortho.com, se-ortho.com. Doc, Anthony Richardson, hip pointer, missed most of the game Sunday. We hear hip pointer. We hear hip pointer all the time. Is that just a fancy way of saying a bruise? What does hip pointer mean? To me, it just sounds like a bruise on the hip bone. What is hip pointer?
Yeah, typically it's a direct blow to that area of the hip / pelvis. It's really the pelvic bone called the ilium, and it's kind of where your hip flexors attach to that area. Your quad muscles, some other tendons attach in that area, and so if you get a direct blow to that area, that's it's pretty void of a lot of soft tissue, muscly stuff, and that can cushion it. And so it's just that piece of bone on that area that when you get hit there, it hurts, and it's going to hurt for quite some time. And because there's certain tendons that attach there, so to push off and accelerate, that's going to hurt. So you can see he tried to come back in the game, and he played one play, and he felt like he couldn't go because he couldn't push off. He couldn't be himself. So he was going to be more of a detriment than positive for his team.
And that's not really a hinge area, but it seems like there's a lot of movement in there that if it's a bruise, you're going to keep irritating it if you keep moving around.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much movement at all in that area. It's just where certain tendons attach. And so if you're going to activate muscles that attach to tendons that attach to that area, it's going to pull on that, and it's going to hurt.
Patrick, I don't know if you had a question. Pat's joining us back. If you've got one or two for Dr. Bates, I've got one more. I definitely want to throw his way. Go ahead, Pat, if you got something. Oh, Pat, I think we've lost your audio. We'll try and get Pat's audio. He's traveling, going to a speaking engagement. Doc, I wanted to get back to, before we get out of here, and this is not fair what I'm going to shoot your way, but from your professional opinion, Christian McCaffrey, obviously 49ers, great running back. The NFL doesn't skimp on much. The NFL, they do the best and the highest level of everything. It seems like they're the NFL. Were you surprised? I was a little surprised that Christian McCaffrey, gosh, what was it, Brent? 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago?
Maybe.
He gets on a plane and he goes to Germany to have his not one, but both Achilles tendons looked at. He's suffering from tendonitis and Achilles situations, but he goes to Germany. I don't know why that struck me, but I'm like, well, if I'm the 49ers medical unit, I'm thinking, well, Doc, am I reading something into this? We're not exactly chopped liver here. We're the NFL 49ers medical. I just thought it was weird that he went to Germany. What if anything, what are your thoughts on something like that with McCaffrey going out of country in the season to get treated?
Yeah, I really don't know. It's kind of confusing, just like you said. I mean, you got, the best care that, in the world. And now, so before, you had a lot of athletes going to Canada, going out of the country, going to Europe for, stem cell treatment, for platelet-rich plasma treatment, things that you really couldn't do in the States. But now you can do those things, and we have them right here. So I don't know why, like what they have there that we don't have here that he could try. I mean, even this, so far as the amniotic fluid and all of that stuff that folks are getting injected, and not that I'm in agreement with any of that stuff. And is that really going to help or not? I don't know. So I don't know exactly what he's getting treated, or what's the treatment that he's getting over there. And I don't think anybody really knows.
Yeah.
Maybe just the organization, and maybe they don't even know.
Yeah. And Patrick, I don't know if you're back on with your audio. I don't know what's that critter you got in your in your lap there, Patrick. Patrick's got a big, looks like a bobcat in your lap, Patrick. What do you got there? I think we're still losing, but Doc, you may need to stitch up Patrick here. Looks like a bobcat jump in his car there for a second. Doc, I don't know. Patrick brought up something a week or so ago, I think, on our segment here, Doc, in that, and I'm sure
you can hear me now, right?
And the 49ers covered all this, but there are certain things I would think that worldwide might not be accepted inside the NFL world from a medical standpoint, right? I mean, you can't do steroids, but you could go find some worldwide.
I mean, it's very possible, because there's certain drugs that are that are banned, and you don't want performance enhancing type medications, because that'll disqualify you. And so listen, I don't know. I mean, it's
exactly
beyond me.
And Doc, that's where I was going, and Brent, that's where I was going. If obviously McCaffrey's a smart guy and his people are smart, and the 49ers, obviously they must have gotten with the NFL and said, hey, if we go abroad and we get this treatment, we're not stepping out of the bounds of, we're not going to, get suspended for this, are we?
Hopefully they asked the question.
You would think, right. But I don't know. I just kind of thought that was unique in season and stuff. Doc, last thing I want to throw you away. McCaffrey supposedly has tendonitis in both Achilles, which I think that would be rare, number one. Number two, when you get tendonitis in your Achilles, is that a telltale sign? Hey, man, be careful. You're getting close to rupture. Or no? Is that
no, those related? There's two different mechanisms there.
Okay.
I mean, the tendonitis in the Achilles is more of an overuse type of thing.
Okay.
That just kind of plagues you, and he's going to have issues pushing off and cutting and pivoting and all of that he does that he's so great at. And who knows why he's got him in both. I
is
know
that rare?
How rare
is that?
In the one, that's not too rare. I've seen it before.
Okay.
And it may have something to do with once you have it in one, the way you change your gait is putting more stress on the other side.
Sure.
Maybe that's what's happening. But those Achilles tendon ruptures, that's a quick kind of injury that people have because of that watershed area in that certain part of the Achilles tendon, meaning it doesn't have it has a poor blood supply in that area, that with that eccentric contraction, the lengthening of the muscle tendon unit while the muscle's contracting kind of pulls that area apart. That's totally different than this this ongoing chronic inflammation of the Achilles tendon.
Gotcha. All right, Doc, as we get out of here, get you out of here so you can get about your afternoon. We've got William and Mary. Did you play William and Mary when you were there? And what do we got? They look like they're pretty good this year.
We did, and when I played them, we never beat them.
Oh,
never beat them. As a matter of fact, I believe I played him when Mike Tomlin was there. He was a couple years younger, but yeah, he was a receiver for William and Mary at the time. Yeah.
Oh my, Doc! I never asked you this. What number did we wear when we were at Townsend State? What number were you sporting there?
Best number you have, baby. Number 5.
And multiple positions or one position?
No, I just played once I tore my ACL. I just played one. I just played free safety.
Free safety. Yeah. Before then, he played like 7 positions.
No, nothing like that. I just played on special teams. They took me off of special teams once I tore my ACL.
So number 5, was that always your number? Like high school?
Yeah, high school. Yeah, high school too.
Yeah. Any significance? Why 5?
It was a guy that I idolized in high school. Another defensive back who's since passed. Some like 10 years ago, but. Yeah, I idolized him, and that's the number that I wanted, and it just stuck.
Did he become a doctor?
No.
No.
I think he was a farmer in Texas, actually.
Okay. Patrick, he was a farmer in Texas. Hey, good stuff, Doc. Enjoy your upcoming weekend. Hope you can dial up your Towson State game, and the Tigers can get a win, man. They're pretty good this year. Doc, we appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. That is Dr. Aaron Bates, and I don't know what that is doing. Patrick, what is in your lap? For God's sake, looks like a bobcat.
That's my. Well, I couldn't do it on the first hour or in the beginning of the second hour because she got out, and it was so ironic.
Right.
So ironic as I'm getting back into my truck, she just, hey, Dad. She just pulls up to the driveway, and I'm like, oh, and I was like, you know what? I might as well just take her for a ride. She's a little escape. She's an escape artist for sure.
Hey, we've all been there. When the dog gets out, the world stops.
Pat, is that a husky?
Looks a husky.
What?
She's a Shiba Inu.
Okay.
Hey, you shut your filthy mouth. What'd you just call me, Patrick?
A Shiba Inu. SHIBA space INU.
Goodness gracious! I don't know what kind of French he's talking about.
So what is a Shiba Inu related to, Pat?
Got some husky in it, right?
The Hitachi.
The Hitachi.
It's the bigger version of her. She's a Japanese dog.
The hibachi.
Hitachi.
I may stop and get some hibachi on the way home tonight.
I think he said Hitachi.
I'm not a huge fan of hibachi, man. I'm not a huge fan.
I like it twice a year.
Yeah,
maybe twice a year. I don't like it and all, but man, you smell like it when you walk out of there, man. It's good stuff.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And those guys, when they're good at that, man, they're throwing eggs up in the air and they're cracking stuff and all.
Yes.
But then I always feel like they're making fun of me somehow.
You mean you don't understand the language?
Yeah, Patrick,
I
always feel like they're making fun of me somehow, and I don't like that. Like it all.
It sounds like you got some insecurity issues there, Terry.
Yeah, insecurities is right.
Yeah. See, hey Pat, the only thing they hear is Sex Panther.
Yeah,
that's all they hear and understand from Terry.
I'll tell you one thing though. I wish I had that big old, what do you call it, griddle maybe that they have.
Oh, yeah.
And the best thing they have,
great.
They got that big griddle and they got somebody in the back preparing it, and they bring it out to you. It's all ready to go.
Yeah, they make it pretty easy, don't they?
Man, I tell you though, it's healthy. I feel healthy when I eat there.
Sure, absolutely.
And I may stop on the way home.
No, on fried rice, all that sauce.
Yeah, you're right.
It's good. Nothing wrong. It's good, but
you know what?
Sauce,
I think I'll just order right here from Twin Peaks is what I'll do. I know what they got on the menu.
That may be the safest thing to do.
And by the way, they've got the plexiglass. You can see the food being made. Very, very, very transparent. What do we got here? Detroit 5-2, and they are just about to close this thing out.
Yes,
they are about to close this. So Detroit will sweep Houston. They're up 5-2, bottom of the ninth with 2 outs. Nobody on, right? This is going to be a sweep.
It might be Kansas City 1, Baltimore nothing still.
Woo! We got 4 games going on, and they all 4 could end today. Best 2 out of 3. Let's take a break. We're starting to wind things down on a Wednesday. A lot of baseball, a lot of football all weekend. You can't go wrong. Get your group together. Come on up and enjoy a great time at Twin Peaks.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnik Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnik never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnik Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnikBuickGMC.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnik is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnikBuickGMC.com. Nimnik, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
Oh, here we are. That guy right there is Brent Beaird. I'm Terry Norvelle. We are having a big-time show. We've got Patrick Young in and out. We've had a good time with Pat as well as he's traveling. Dr. Bates was wonderful, as always, our Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Sports Medicine discussion. Unfortunately, we had a lot to discuss with Dr. Bates. McCaffrey's Achilles, AR's hip pointer will keep him out of the game here in Jackson, it looks like, and Rasheed Rice. Brent, coming up on College Football Saturday, let's get this out real quick. Detroit has beaten Houston. They have swept the Astros out of the Major League playoffs. Detroit goes on the road and wins 2 and really didn't have to work that hard.
No, Detroit, we may be off a little bit on the record, but is there any hotter team in baseball right now than the Tigers?
Red hot.
Are?
So Detroit wins their 2 out of 3. They sweep Houston out of the playoffs. The Tigers now will go face Cleveland right? They are a division winner. And the other American League Series, Royals lead the Orioles 1-0. They're playing right now. We saw 1-0 score.
Yeah, they hadn't changed.
And the winner, if the Royals win today, they sweep the Orioles out. The winner of Orioles-Royals plays the Yankees. And then, obviously, the National League 2 games are tonight. The same 4 order from yesterday is today. Braves will play the last game tonight, and the Braves must win.
That's right. Look, if you had a Yankees-Dodgers World Series, think about
MLB would take that so fast.
Ohtani and Judge.
They would take it so fast.
Night.
And, I'm glad you mentioned that. We're going to get into some college football here as we were wrapping up the final half hour here on Wednesday from Twin Peaks. Baseball, it's been a good baseball season. It's been a really good baseball season. One of the reasons it's been a really good baseball season, in my opinion, the superstars played like superstars.
Sure
Ohtani was Ohtani all year.
Right.
Judge came back, and he was Judge all year. You could go on and on, but the stars played like stars.
Sure did.
Major League Baseball didn't have to find new stars.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with new stars, but you want your top-of-mind guys.
Right.
Ohtani and Judge, they played like superstars all year.
This is a next year question, but if you're Ohtani, with the success you've had hitting the ball, do you necessarily want to pitch too?
He wants to. And he started to kind of lengthen it out. He's been throwing and throwing a little simulated. He wants to pitch. He wants to pitch. Brent Beaird, college football. I've made my 3 picks. We'll get into those. Hopefully, Zach and Patrick will have theirs by tomorrow. Not a crazy great weekend coming up, but enough compelling games.
Sure.
I'm going to throw some your way, and you may have some news and notes. Friday night, Syracuse having a good year. Fran Brown off of the Kirby staff has done nice things. Syracuse Friday plays UNLV. This will be the biggest viewing of a UNLV football game, I think, ever, because of the UNLV quarterback situation that sat out.
Yes.
Kind of an intriguing game Friday, isn't it?
It is. Very intriguing.
And have you seen UNLV? They're not bad.
They're not. No.
They're not bad.
And look, Syracuse with Fran Brown, who came over from Georgia, has done a nice job. And also on Friday night, you've got Michigan State at Oregon.
How about that? And Oregon's about to heat up too, by the way. Their schedule's about to heat up.
They've got Ohio State coming in a few weeks.
I think after this coming week. I think that is next week, I think it is Ohio State and Oregon. Lost in the game in Gainesville, I thought. And we're going to get to the next game here. I want to kick around number 9, Missouri. I don't think Missouri's played great football yet. Top 10 team. They're at number 25, Texas A&M. Lost in the A&M Florida game in Gainesville. A&M may have found a quarterback.
Absolutely.
Marcel Reed.
Yeah, Reed's done well. Connor Weigman, it actually could play if they wanted him to, but at this point,
this kid's pretty good.
Do you
rock the boat?
I mean, isn't that a wonderful decision to have?
Yeah, but I mean, that got lost in that game coming out of Gainesville. All the noise, the Florida noise. A&M won, but that kid was handed the ball late in the week.
Sure was.
And said, by the way, go beat Florida in the swamp.
Oh, yeah.
With 90,000. And that was a desperate 90,000.
Yes.
And he did not blink. I think that was a big story. Help me out. Louisville lost a tough game on the road at Notre Dame. Louisville's still ranked 22nd.
Yeah.
They host SMU. Was SMU as good and explosive as I thought they were to the naked eye, or was that FSU a step slow because they mailed it in? What do you make of SMU? They look quick, and I like SMU's offensive approach the other night.
I agree that this is Rhett Lashley's team, by the way. Folks aren't too familiar with them, so that they've done a nice job.
That was a fun offensive plan he had.
It really was. And that the game we haven't really mentioned, and this is a real odd situation. Game day is in Berkeley, of all places to go, playing Miami. They've got game day that morning, but the game's not played to 10:30 Eastern time.
Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? They will. Reese and the boys will be up with the roosters crowing.
Oh yeah.
Because of their normal East Coast broadcast time window. but their game is late. Is that a byproduct? I was trying to think this through. Is that a byproduct because game day looks up and goes, okay, starting about next week, all the compelling games are going to be Big Ten or SEC.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And they said, well, let's stretch it one more week. Is that why?
I think they wanted to do something in that area that they really haven't. I mean, that really makes not a lot of sense. Now, Cal did beat Auburn.
Cal's pretty good.
They are.
I've seen them twice now.
That running back they've got does a good job. Justin Wilcox, we talked
and they
about
play
this.
hard. They play physical.
They've got a good defense. So I've got to give them some credit for that. Absolutely.
They play well. Auburn is at Georgia. What a horrible time for Auburn to go back on the road and face Georgia coming off of a Georgia loss. That line is 24 or something like that. If Georgia, and they very well could run Auburn right out of the gymnasium.
Yeah.
I don't think Freeze is on a hot seat, but he's not helping himself. He's a better veteran coach than what he has been letting seen by the media, if that makes any sense.
Paul Feinbaum was on Brother Brent's show in the Huntsville area today, and Feinbaum said if Auburn ends up 5-7, or something like that, which you look at their schedule and that could happen, you've got a situation where how hot is Freeze's seat next year? Now think about this a minute. Auburn's already lost 3 in the month of September. They have got their next 2 games are Georgia and Missouri.
And they got somebody named Alabama, I think, still on the schedule.
That would be 5. Alabama would be 6. And they've got others in between.
Well, right now with Auburn's, don't mean to cut you off, with Auburn's quarterback play or lack thereof, nothing's a gimme win for them. They can't score.
You want to hazard a guess, and Pat's back on. Either one y'all want to hazard a guess the last time Auburn won in Athens?
When?
2005.
My God.
Yes.
20 years ago.
Yes.
20 years ago, 10 trips ago.
2005.
That's 10 trips ago, basically.
That's right.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Pat, we're just going down some of the college games and jump in. Ole Miss, disappointing output. They lose at home.
Yes.
Now, we really don't know was Kentucky just a weird happenstance against South Carolina? Kentucky lost to Georgia by a point. Kentucky could have 2 top 10 wins.
They could
if they have knocked off Georgia. Is there a concern Ole Miss licking their wounds, going to South Carolina? Not a lot of offense for the game, but they'll D your ass up.
They will.
What do you really is there any concern there?
Here's my concern for Ole Miss, and the 3 of us talked about this. Ole Miss didn't play anybody in the preseason, shall we say, in September.
Yep.
And that, frankly, probably really came back to haunt them when it got to Kentucky. I think they probably took the game too lightly. But the other reality is Kentucky is listen, they can run the ball. They've got a tough quarterback who made a tremendous throw on 4th down and 7, by the way.
He really did.
To Beaird Brown. So this Kentucky team's a pretty good football team.
Yeah, and it looks like it. Patrick, what are you doing? You're answering some mail? What are you doing? Some fan mail? We lost you again there with your video. Your audio's out, Pat. Get your audio. Click, 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 click. Click, click, click. I think you're saying that Terry Norvelle is the best host you've ever worked with, and he's a handsome son of a gun. We'll get your audio back here, Pat. Clemson, we touched on Clemson. What a terrible time. Not that it's a great time to ever play Clemson. What a terrible time for FSU to welcome Clemson to a night game. Clemson, I think, they think, hey, man, that Georgia second half was a aberration.
Yeah.
They played Georgia well in the first half.
Sure, 6-0, wasn't it? Yeah.
Clemson looks like they got a little edge on them right now. I think. Do you see Clemson putting a number on FSU? I do.
They have a chance.
It'll turn off.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about it. We do hear Patrick.
We hear you, Pat. We hear you, Pat.
Hey, guys.
Pat's back. Clemson going into Tallahassee. I don't think that sets up well for FSU. Starting a new quarterback. I I think Clemson may put a big old number on FSU. What are your thoughts, Patrick? Clemson, FSU.
I think they're going to get destroyed.
Yeah, I think FSU's
absolutely obliterated.
Yeah.
Do you think so,
Yeah.
Pat? I think FSU's quit.
Yeah, I think they've quit. Yeah, without a doubt. I don't think it's tough, man. When you know that you have no chance, probably not even to make a bowl game.
Ooh.
To stay locked in, to believe in your coach. Hopefully, these guys still believe in their coach because, like he's shown he can be successful. He just missed on players, and for the guys that are playing, they got to remember, you're putting out tape and auditioning for if you're going to transfer somewhere else.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You got to remember that.
My goodness, FSU playing the string out maybe after being 13. Weren't they 13-0 just yesterday?
13-0. Okay, here's who they've got left. Clemson at Duke. Duke's undefeated. Miami's undefeated. That's who they play next.
Ooh.
Then they've got North Carolina. Then they go to Notre Dame. Then they've got Charleston Southern in Florida. So the only real – so Charleston Southern is the only real assured win they've got.
Man, sitting on one win. And frankly, I watched most of that Cal game. Cal probably should have beat them. They missed two under 40-yard field goals. Let's get into real quick. Central Florida, underwhelming performance. I don't want to take anything away from Colorado and Dion. I was impressed with Colorado. They played well the other night in Orlando. But Central Florida, they're going to kind of limp into Gainesville. I'm not so sure Florida didn't want Central Florida to win that game against Colorado. Is there any guess? Is Malzahn just going to go tight end heavy and see if we can just run it down Florida's throat?
Well, that's their strength. I mean,
that's their strength,
they were averaging almost 400 yards a game rushing. So Colorado stopped that, but yet can Florida stop that? I'm not sure they can, frankly.
And Patrick, I don't know if you saw Colorado. UCF the other day. They've got two totally different ball carriers. They've got that little number 7 Harvey. He's cat quick. He went for an 80-yard touchdown against Colorado. Correct. And then their big quarterback is KJ Jefferson.
Oh, yeah.
Patrick, he goes about 265.
Yeah. And he definitely is as you said, he definitely is a running back quarterback.
Yes, he's a running back quarterback, and he's got to win. This guy could get 2 wins in the swamp over the Gators in less than a year, guys.
Yeah.
He was the quarterback for Arkansas. Yeah. How about that?
Well, I mean, the way they're going to run the ball, that's the only thing. It's like and the Gators know you know what's coming, and you still can't stop it. So
man,
that's disheartening, isn't it?
And isn't that it's just like a slow bleed, bleed watching the game, because it is kind of boring to watch running.
Death by paper cut.
KJ
Jefferson, 6'3", 247.
6'3", 247. They list him at Patrick. That's like when they used to list Patrick at 225. Patrick never saw 225.
I saw that my junior year in high school.
Junior year. Couple more real quick, and we'll take a break and kind of put a wrap on this thing. I may be the only guy in the world, and I'm going to Knoxville next week. Me and a buddy, we're going to do a fun little.
You'll enjoy it regardless.
We're going to do a fun little. We've had this plan for a long time. We're going to do a fun little on the road with the Gators, and we'll do a bunch of social media posting as we go up to Knoxville. Blah blah blah.
Good.
So we're going to Knoxville next week. Am I the only guy in the world that thinks Tennessee at Arkansas Saturday? I think that's going to be a hell of a game. I think Arkansas is going to play Tennessee off their feet. Am I crazy, Brent?
No,
you're crazy.
No, they very well could do that. I agree.
I think maybe early in the game it might be a game, but I don't think Arkansas has the stamina to stay up with.
Maybe not. Tennessee. Maybe not, Pat. You may be right, but
they'll bust that door open at some point.
Yeah. You would think that Tennessee will just keep blowing the balloon and it'll finally pop. But man, I think Arkansas. I'm impressed with Arkansas.
I agree.
Love him or hate him, Bob Petrino has added infusion. That's a fun offense with that quarterback.
And they should have beat Oklahoma State. They should have beat Texas A&M.
Yeah, definitely. We haven't touched on this game. You guys realize Duke is 5-0. Duke is at Georgia Tech. Also a pretty good story out of the ACC. Duke is playing for a bowl eligibility. Brent Beaird.
That's amazing.
They're 5-0, and one more win, they're going to a bowl game.
There's no way in the world, Terry, that they
That's a good game.
That's probably the earliest they've ever qualified for a bowl.
How about that, Patrick Young? I mean,
Who do they play this Saturday?
Duke is at Georgia Tech, and we know Georgia Tech's pretty good. I will not make it a point to go watch this game, but I'll damn sure if I'm surfing by, I'm going to watch a little bit of that. I think that's going to be a fun game, Duke, Georgia Tech. I think it'll be fun as hell.
Now, Duke may have qualified for bowl when Spurrier was there.
Yeah. They're 5-0, Duke is.
Oh, yeah.
Manny Diaz,
I always
by the way.
forget that Spurrier was at Duke. I always forget that.
How about that? Spurrier was at Duke. Manny Diaz is the head coach at Duke, and Mike Elko went from Duke to Notre Dame, and he's doing good things. Last game, real quick. We'll come back and we'll get out of here pretty quick. Is Miami traveling across country, a weird kickoff, a weird location? Miami never plays Cal. Are they on any type of upset alert, Brent? Is this a dicey game coming out of the Virginia Tech controversy at the end?
I don't think
for
so.
The game.
I will say this on Cal, as we mentioned earlier, Justin Wilcox is there, that they're really good defensively.
They've got
this kid Ott in running back. When he's healthy, he's one of the better ones. But I think Miami has got too many weapons. Pat, question: when you travel cross country like that, Miami going to Berkeley, Miami's a better team, but does that travel really affect you that much?
I don't think so. I don't think it really does. The furthest I think we traveled was Arizona.
Okay.
Playing against the Wildcats or Bears or whatever they say, whoever they are. And then we went to Wisconsin as well. I think we enjoyed it. I'll never forget Wisconsin. They had the best breakfast I had in my entire career.
Really?
The best. They took care of us. And that was a game Scotty Wilkie and play.
And, Patrick, I don't want to speak for you, but I think traveling at 21 or 22 it is a lot easier. You don't think it through. You're 21. You're not going, oh, my God, I'm on this plane for 5.5 hours. I think you're playing cards with your buddy and you're busting up with your friend and you're So interesting, Pat.
So, Pat, you're saying it was a grown man breakfast in Wisconsin. Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
absolutely. Was there any cheese involved there, Pat?
There was a lot of bacon. I know that.
A lot of bacon.
There was a lot of bacon.
Good lot of bacon. Yes. A lot of bacon. All right, guys, let's take a break. Come back. We'll wrap things up. Been a fun, quick-moving Wednesday edition of the Young and Norvelle Show. Back after this quick timeout to wrap it up. Remember, tomorrow, this traveling circus, we head straight down to Neptune Beach. We'll be at Sliders Oyster Bar tomorrow. Come by and say hi. We'll wrap it up on the other side.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Brent's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Brent's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Brent's Jack's Beach.
Since 1936, Procter Ace has been proudly helping Jacks with all your home and garden projects. Whether you need tools, paint, plumbing supplies, or expert advice, we've got what you need to get the job done right. Looking to brighten your yard? Visit our garden center for plants, tools, and everything to make your outdoor space flourish. You're not just shopping here, you're part of our community. So come in today and let us help you tackle your next project with a smile. After all,
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
When I say it means something to me, gentlemen, it means something to me.
High school football is back and it's bigger than ever. Welcome to the Friday Night Zone Blitz.
It is bigger than a game.
Watch the biggest games each week live as the action unfolds with instant reaction and analysis from our Hall of Famer, Kevin Sullivan. It starts with live look-ins at the top matchups, including our Jaguars Prep Whataburger Game of the Week, and that is just the beginning of 4 straight hours of coverage. From 8 to 10:30, the Friday Night Zone Blitz is streaming on our Action News Jax app and online. At 10:30, the Friday Night Blitz you know and love. A half hour of highlights from around the area. 11 o'clock, we shine the spotlight on the bands that pump up the crowd. 11:15, it's time to blitz through the highlights online and on air. Then 11:35, back to the stream to break down the night's results with a reaction from local coaches. 4 straight hours of high school football on the Friday Night Zone Blitz. Only on Action Sports Jax 24/7.
Baker Sports is local sports. Uniforms from Pop Warner and Little League to travel ball, high school, and college. They make you look good. They help you play good. Baker Sports has been helping families make memories that will last a lifetime with their Baker's Buckets. We've got a lot of these filled with baseballs and softballs in the garage. I've been throwing batting practice to Ty and Kaylee for years and also sit on the Baker's Bucket, catching Kaylee while she practices her pitching. Baker Sports is homegrown, and a lot of employees that used to play on local ball fields now work for Baker Sports, now helping you look good, play good, and make memories of your own. Visit Bakersport.com to see what Baker Sports can do for you. Custom apparel, Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, embroidery, screen printing, and more. Baker Sports is local sports from Jacksonville to anywhere in the Southeast. Bakersport.com.
Just about to put a wrap on a fun Wednesday Hump Day edition. I hope you've enjoyed as much as we have enjoyed bringing it to you folks. Tomorrow, the traveling party known as the Young and Norvelle Show, we go down to Neptune Beach. We'll be at Sliders. We missed Sliders last week. We didn't want to be on the patio during a big storm.
Really?
So we welcome back Brent, Beaird, Terry Norvelle. Patrick Young's been with us most of the show. We also want to thank Dr. Bates for joining us as he does on Wednesdays and all the great hospitality we get here at Sliders. At Twin Peaks, our Wednesday home at the intersection of Kernan and Atlantic. Brent,
yes,
you uncovered something that was pretty cool. We talked about Texas A&M a moment ago.
Mm-hmm.
They got a big game coming up on Saturday, and we talked about did the Aggies in a roundabout way find a quarterback that day in Gainesville, Marcel Reed, who is he's played great since he went in for the injured Connor Wigman, and it looks like it's his team and his game now. Pick it up. They take on Missouri,
right?
And Missouri has a assistant on the football.
Marcel Reed's sister,
the A&M quarterback sister, works for
Missouri, who they're playing, and
the football program.
Yeah, the football program.
She works for the football program,
and Eli Drinkwith will not let her on the field this week during practice.
Holy.
So look, that is when football coaches are overly paranoid.
Just a little paranoid.
Yeah.
So he says, "Listen, honey, you can join us next week, but why don't you go do some office stuff, right? How about that?
What in the world is she going to tell him? That would he would even have to be nervous about
football coaches." And Brent, we've got a minute here. We're about to get out of here, and I mean, has there ever been anything? How often does a football team come out on a Saturday or Sunday when they kick it off against the opponent and do just totally never thought of schemes or alignments? Right? I mean,
they're not running the wishbone.
My
okay?
God, y'all are running the wishbone on us. We had no idea.
Oh, it's just look, but you see that in so many ways. You know coaches, I know coaches, we love them, but the depth of paranoia is just beyond belief.
In football coaches.
Yes.
It's unreal how paranoid they are. All right, Brent, anything we need to hit quickly before we get out of here? Good show, by the way. Good stuff. Good
it's
stuff.
been a lot of fun. The absolutely no question about that.
Astros have been sent home. Detroit moves on. Orioles are trying to stay alive as the Royals are ahead in their baseball. 2 baseball games going on right now, 2 tonight. And what do we got?
Texas State at Troy tomorrow night. Sam Houston at UTEP tomorrow night. It's just ball. That's all that matters.
Thursday. But then Friday, really kind of a peek at game.
Yeah.
Syracuse at UNLV.
That's right. And then Michigan State at Oregon.
And Michigan State at Oregon. So there you have it. Some pretty good Friday games. And I've always thought college football needs to take advantage of that Friday.
And Thursday. For
I
that
agree. But they've given up Thursday.
Yeah, that's
they've given up Thursday
yeah.
to the NFL.
They made a mistake with that.
And guess who? You remember who gave birth to Thursday night football? College football.
Yes.
Gave birth
Sure
to
did.
Thursday way before the NFL even thought of it. College football figured that out, and they had a good thing going.
They did.
They had a good thing going, and the
Memorable
NFL said,
games on
the
Thursday.
NFL went, wait a minute.